when you become a dad, um, all of a sudden there's a lot of things that you were not scared about. You were not scared of that scare you.
Yeah.
You're gonna see things that happen in the streets, and because you know how you move, you don't really care. But once you have kids, all of a sudden you're scared of the news, because you're like, oh my God, like that child is in the world, and now all these things can happen to them. And listen, I remember, like, when I was in Brussels, we used to live in Brussels together in Schaerbeek, and I remember being
Ah, distrante, hein, vas-y, représente, c'est
I
fort.
distraught represent, and we used to when I used to take the subway with my son, I was always scared that I fall asleep, and then the doors open from the subway, and he goes, and I leave I forget him there. Like, it was an obsession of mine. Like, like those kind of things that you start thinking when you have children, because your life is not just your life anymore, and you cannot be a person that doesn't care anymore, because, like, if there's no shows, there's no money. If there's no money, there's no milk. So the beautiful part about that was that when this happened, Kaysha Ondikwa became a worldwide African super global hit. And all of a sudden, I was all around the world all the time. So in a way, it was great, because I knew that I could feed my kid. But at the same time, there was a lot of sacrifice, because I was never there. I was always between two planes, and it was not like today. Today, look, you can be on WhatsApp. Look, we are on YouTube live from two different locations. We can bring in people from anywhere. Back then, it was not cheap to talk, so you could not talk for hours with your children. Today, me and Ilian is in Angola, but we talk every day. We talk on WhatsApp. We send each other messages. We can call each other on video. We can just talk on while I'm jogging. We can talk hours without not being, and it costs zero. But back then, yeah, listen, there was shows all the time. I was away all the time, and yeah, sometimes I would just be away for the weekend. It's okay, and I would be there during the week. But I was living between Brussels, and I had the apartment with them in Brussels, and I had the apartment in Paris. So I was always going back and forth, because I was in the studio in Paris with the artists, and at the same time I was going to Brussels, and at the same time I had to do shows around the world. So it was really a lot of sacrifice. And, like, I think the thing that broke my heart the most was that every time that I would go, like, the face that I would see when he would try not to cry, because I was only there for the weekend and I had to go take the train. This broke my heart every time, like every time, like really, like, and you could see that when he was a baby, you could see, but when he was like 3, 4, every time I was like, okay, daddy gotta go, daddy has to go. You could see that he was trying to stay strong, but then he was like, and then either his mom would break down. I was always in the taxi, like, oh my God, like, that's horrible. But then you have to do what you have to do, because you have to feed your family. So there was a lot of sacrifice, and it's amazing that it turned like this. Even with all these sacrifices, we managed to make it happen, by being a kind of an international family. And it is probably the reason why I never had another kid before finishing that mission of building my whole strategy, building the label, creating catalog, because that was too much sacrifice for me. as a father to always be away, and whenever he got sick or got at the hospital or something, and I was like on the other side of the world, and all I could do was just, and I was listening to his mother cry because there was something going on and it was at the urgency, something, this happens, and then they tell you, hey, Kaysha, you on stage in 10 minutes, and
You gotta switch up your energy.
and you have to just concentrate on performing for the people, giving your best show, but at the same time a part of your head is just praying. And then soon as you're done with the show, you have to go send a call and say, so how is everything? Okay, everything is stable, da 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 da, we will go home soon, da 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 da. Okay, I call when I'm at the hotel, but then you have to do 1 hour of photo session with all the fans, sign autographs, sign t-shirts, etc. And you are, but yeah, this is the sacrifice that a lot of people don't understand when they talk about performers, because they think, yeah, you're an artist, your life is great. No, sometimes you in despair, but you still have to perform. You still have to perform because you're getting paid for that, and this will pay the same hospital. So
Yeah.
it's those moments made me wait 14, 15 years to have a kid, because I didn't want Ashia to leave all this. I really wanted to have a kid that would see me every day, that I would take to school, that I would see her walk for the first time, not in video, but from my own eyes, take her, and
Yeah.
and you don't want to make a difference between your kids, but then it's also for them, but it's also for you. And every time Aisha does something, I send videos to Ilian because I want him to be part of it. And every time he comes to Portugal, same thing. Like, I really want them to bond and him to be a big brother, and we just stay like a unit. And even when we are all separated from each other, technology makes it easier today. But I really wanted to not be always like, sometimes I go 10 days in Miami, I'm gonna go in Africa. So this still happens, but it's less frequent. And fortunately, thanks to all the work I did the last 25 years, I don't need to travel that much. I don't need shows anymore. So I can pay all the expenses without moving from here. So it's it's a different sensation, and especially when you have a girl. I didn't know it would be a girl, but as soon as I knew it was a girl, I was like, oh no, like this one, I have to, to be there and show her what is true love, what it is to live with your dad with you. It's something that for me, like, any sacrifice will be worth it for my daughter to see, to have this example of what is, having both her parents together and etc. So yeah, I'm lucky.
Yeah, I feel you. I think that ultimately this is definitely something that is important, and it's important that you touching upon the subject of fatherhood and even familyhood. Because as artists, as creative, especially guys like us, we are responsible folks. We're not, into drugs. We don't have no silly behaviors or whatsoever. So it's like we're hard workers, and you said it very well, man. It takes a very strong partner to be able to sustain the level of responsibility and pressure that comes along with being with someone who is so dedicated to their work, but
Yeah,
also
and love.
feminist and loved by
Yeah, yeah,
other
yeah.
people than you, the woman, or you, the man, or whoever it is, whatever it is. And it's like, and it's not easy, and having to. The worst is when you have to fight with somebody, go over arguments over things that are so you don't even have. This is I remember I would have conversations or arguments with some exes before, when I was like, I would be traveling. It's like, I'm sure you'd be having fun with those guys. I'm like, dude, you have no idea When you
You don't have
travel
time.
so much, you don't even have time nor the
Well,
desire because you're just too tired.
well, let me remember.
I mean, okay, if you stay a couple of days, maybe, but still,
When I was single,
yeah, single is a different story as well.